Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for The Walking Dead Comics issue 185. So this was another really good one where I thought we got to see a lot as far as things go with the series. So yeah, the comic's been really good lately. I'm loving season 9 of the show, but I'll talk about that in its own video eventually, by the end of this half season, I guess. So yeah, either way, to talk about this issue, starting off with the cover. The cover was nice, I really liked it, but it was hella misleading. What was the title of this? Wasn't it like On Guard or something like that? Yeah, in the name too, with the cover paired with it. Seems very misleading. It really doesn't have much of anything to do with the issue itself. Not in any sort of direct way. But starting off on the actual issue proper, we have a good conversation with Dwight and Rick, and Dwight and Rick both have very good points here. The people are living under an oppressive regime, but at the same time, Rick is seeing what he wants to see. Rick is seeing the positives in this place and kind of overlooking the negatives where he can, because of how much the positives are there. So I'm not sure. Rick, though, seems a lot more stable than Michonne with it. He understands that there is a problem. The problem with the problem is how to deal with the problem. Dwight thinks taking over is the way to handle it, which is going to get people killed. It's not going to be a perfect way to do things. Even if it works, even if in the end things work out and things are all good, people are going to die along the way. It's not going to be a perfect solution. And at the same time, Rick wants to kind of change them from within, showing them who they are and how things can work, which is good, but it could take time that they don't have, and it could be inevitable for things to go Dwight's way. It could be inevitable that the leading elite, the oligarchy of the Commonwealth, decides that they want to fight, and maybe it would have been better for Dwight's army to have taken the fight to them first, if it comes to that. So there's no real way to tell. Both ways of going about it have a lot of risk, but there is a problem. So then we have some Hilltop stuff. We have Carl x Lydia has grown on me a bit. I didn't like Carl and Lydia together that much at first. I didn't like Lydia that much at first. But they've grown on me a lot. Lydia's grown on me as a character, and their relationship has grown on me over time. But I've never been a fan of Carl x Sophia. Still not a fan of Carl with Sophia. I really don't want him to sort of cheat on Lydia or leave Lydia for Sophia, or to get in some sort of weird polygamous thing. I mean, I know it's the end of the world and all, but I don't know. It's just Carl with Sophia always seemed weird to me, and I think it will still seem weird to me if they get together. I've never been a fan of it. I did laugh a lot, though. I loved Carl's little noping out of there at the sexual stuff. And then we have some quick stuff with Magna and Yumiko. And that trip to Ohio, I wasn't that big on Magna and Yumiko before then, but the trip to Ohio, the trip to the Commonwealth, really kind of got me behind them as characters. Now I'm rooting for them. I want them to be safe and succeed. So I like Magna and Yumiko a lot more than I did before. So Rick and Michonne, Elodie, they're eating at a restaurant. And Michonne and Elodie, I'm not going to lie, they're kind of shit. Michonne was a character I've loved for basically forever, but man, she's kind of a jerk. She just ditched all that she seemed to have learned to chase after this dream of the past, and she's kind of just been a jerk to a lot of people. So I don't know how I'm feeling here. And Elodie, from the beginning, she was like, oh hell yeah, if I can get a trip to the upper echelons, if I can get to live the high life, screw the little people, I'm one of the elite now. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Michonne and Elodie right now. And they're kind of... This is what I said about Rick being less crazy than Michonne, because Rick is more tempered between Michonne and Dwight, where Michonne's just basically looking over all the problems because she desperately wants to rush back to the past, but Dwight is also like, let's just take the place over, which is reckless in and of itself. Extremely reckless. And Rick's more like, yeah, there's a problem on Dwight's side, but we can't just destroy the place. Kind of more on the Michonne side and seeing the good in it. So Rick is kind of walking the middle path right now, and I think one of the most interesting things to see for the future is where he's going to go with this. But from there we see more growth for Eugene and Stephanie's relationship, and Eugene being able to set up the trains again. Pamela increases the guard controls, and Dwight causes a scene to test the people, and it totally works. So we have that really good conversation in the cell, and most of what I said about Rick and Dwight kind of stays true there. I don't think there's more I need to add at that moment, but Mercer listens in on it, and Mercer says that he knows Rick is the leader they need. So that's cool in a way that, like I was saying about Rick, he has all these people in his ear. He has Mercer, he has Dwight, he has Michonne, and he has to decide what to do with all these different forces influencing him, which I think is a cool spot for the main character to be in. It seems like Dwight in some ways is off the deep end, Michonne in some ways is off the deep end, and Rick has to find a moderate path between that. And if he refuses to, it makes one wonder if Mercer would team with Dwight, and in that case the officers would kind of would either fight among themselves or would overthrow things for the sake of the people. The officers would be on the side of the people then. So it's interesting to think, if Rick refuses him, will Mercer work with Dwight? Because he didn't say Dwight was the leader they needed, surely. So it's interesting. I'm kind of on Team Dwight here to an extent. Again, more middle path, less just let's run in here and shoot a bunch of people. Kind of on Team Dwight in a way, but more Team Dwight than Team Michonne for sure. But yeah, either way, I do love the development for the world that we're in for the series, and also for all the different characters and their relationships that are deepening and strengthening. And we get to move forward with that. There was a lot of romance here. We didn't see any Princess and Mercer, though, this time around, I noticed. So yeah, the depth of the story and the choices that Rick now has to make are all really great. And because of all the added depth and all that we got to see in this issue, I would give it 9 coos out of 10. 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this month's issue and what you thought of my thoughts on it and all that. Subscribe for more. The Walking Dead, much more on the channel. Like I said, I'm going to be making at least one video on the TV series, and I might do more on the TV series. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Is there demand for it? Who knows? But definitely every single month I do the live reaction, like as soon as I get the issue, usually on the day it comes out, but sometimes, occasionally, I don't get it till the day after it comes out, but that just depends on if I have time the day it comes out or not. So there's the live reaction then, and then the review as soon as I can afterward, every month. So sub for that. And if you want to link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us there about anything, it's just free and open for anyone. You can ask and I'll give you a link. Other than that, though, you can follow me on Twitter, and I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. So that's about it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.